Here's what we're going to do today. So we're just going to go through a couple of things for winter camping. So basically it's autumn here in New Zealand now, as you can see from the colour of the beautiful trees. Definitely getting a lot colder during the night. And obviously there's going to be some snow and some rain and everything on the way. That's really it. It's going to be a pretty basic video. There's nothing complicated. I just want to share some stuff with you. People have been asking me, mainly this is for beginners, so this is not like an advanced video or anything. I just want to kind of show you what I know if you want to get camping and get out there during the winter, which I think is the best season to go. We are going to crack into the tent setup and sleeping bag and all that good stuff. So let's have a look at what you need to go camping in the winter. 4-season tent. We have the Sea to Summit Etherlight XT Extreme, the Domex Halo -10, and then that's just an air pillow which I acquired at Sea to Summit as well. But what you want to do is pull out your tent. Yeah, this tent needs to be set up with the inner first. So the thing with that is, if it's raining, the best thing you can do is set up a tarp first and test the area beforehand. If it's nice and dry like it is now, just have a lay down. Kind of make sure it's like, you know, nice and flat. Yeah, you just want to make sure it's comfortable before you even set anything up. As if it's windy, what you want to do is get one peg in. So get one corner of your tent and then, you know, you're good to go for that. As soon as you put your poles in, it's going to catch more wind, and on a really windy day, it's just going to be a nightmare to control. So, yeah, try and get your pegs in, then put your poles in. All right, this tent's quite good. It's just got 2-3 poles, so get them all out, bang them up. This one has a joint in the middle, so you get one pole in, put it up. So always work from one corner to the other. And then grab your second pole, put it in, just try and keep hold of it if you can. Once your pegs are in, poles are seated in each corner, and just clip it on. Now obviously every tent's different, but similar sort of, you know, it's not going to be much difference unless you've got a hiking pole tent, which will require you to peg it out first anyway, and then put your pole in. So, yeah. One more pole to put on this tent, so it just goes like that. And it basically just gives you more headroom when you're inside the tent, which is a really good design. And then with the fly on this one, all you need to do, open her up and clip it in. Each corner clips in, super easy design. Also another tip, if you leave your door open the last time, just make sure you zip that up, because you want to have the tension correct with the doors closed. Yeah, once you get to this stage, everything's set up. Just a couple more pegs to go in now, the fly's on. So we'll just go around and adjust, get the last ones on. So yeah, worth noting that you want to have your tent peg going in at 45 degrees. You don't want it going straight down, because if it's going straight down, it just gets pulled out. And if it's going at that angle, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna hold it. So always try and have it at 45. What you want to do is do your 4 corners first, like I showed you, and then do your doors. So corners, then doors, and then if you've got any other pegs after that, like secondary pegs, they go in last. So you want to make sure this is tight. Obviously when it rains, it's going to stretch and move, so you will have to readjust if you do get wet. And then yeah, just go around and do your sides. So this tent's really good. It's got ones on the side as well. Really good for ventilation, especially in a 4-season tent. And that's it, that's the last peg on the front side, so good. It has these catches which you can open up, so for ventilation in a 4-season tent, really important. And it's still waterproof, but if you do start to get cold, you can just tuck that away and not have that. But I don't recommend, you can just leave them open. I like to have that ventilation come in through the top. Yeah, what's wrong? Okay, so as you can see from here, I've pegged it out on the left-hand side. So this side of the vestibule is closed. Sorry, dog need a ball. Have your tent door on the side where your zippers are. Easier to get in and out. It's not the end of the world if you have it on this side, but it just depends which way you've set up, which way the wind's coming. Generally, you will set up with the wind coming from the other side of this vestibule. So you're getting in on the side which is covered. Obviously the wind changes a lot, so you can never guarantee that. But yeah, that's it. And then you can open your tent up and it's real easy just to get in. These black top ones you tie off to, and it helps hold the tent down in windy conditions. All I do to tie off to anything that I don't want to move is I do a simple figure of 8. Figure of 8, just like that. Do your little loop and then pass that back through there. And then this is if you want to tie anything off to something and not have it move, and then you post it through your top knot here, and then this can come down and you just follow back through the way you came for your double figure of 8, and this is going to anchor it off to the tent. It ain't going to move, it's not going to go anywhere. Paracord's rated to about 20 kilos, so you know that's pretty damn strong even for the pretty strong wind. And there you go, that's your double figure of 8 on your tent, and that's good for a guide wire. That ain't going to move. Okay, so slip knot, real easy. Double overhand like that, and then a twist, and then pull the lead wire through that hole. And there's your slip knot, super easy. And then you put your peg in there, hammer it in. So for your guide wires, you want to have it so it's like at a 45 degree from your tent, coming straight out, nice and tight, pulling on all four corners for your, if you're going to have a bit of wind forecast. I do recommend paracord. It's, you know, the guidelines the tent provides are good as well, but this is a fail-safe option. You know, 20 kilo rated, it's going to be strong. It's not ever going to come off like once it's on there. And if you got wind coming, you want to have the smallest part of your tent into the wind. So if the wind's coming this way, you want to have your tent like that, so the wind's barreling over it. But yeah, other than that, I'm not going to show you all the guidelines, but this is just one I rigged up for you. But the good thing about a slip knot is, once you pull it out, with a slip knot, just pull both sides of that, and it goes back to normal. So if you know double figure of 8, and your slip knot, you know you're halfway camping. Make sure it's clean enough, and then I'll just bang out my thermal mat, a nice thin sponge mat like this, and then on top of that, have some sort of air mattress. Obviously there's a lot of different brands out there. But yeah, so you got double insulation, you got the foam mat, and you got the thermal mat. These are really good, R7.2, so really warm. So with this one you have to do this to pump it up, and then usually pump it up as firm as you can pump it up, because with these ones, it will change overnight. It might deflate if it's warm air inside there. And then this one's easy, you just blow it up. But yeah, that's it. You got your little pillow, you got your foam mattress, and then take your bag out and loft it out before you go to sleep. So try and get out, you know, at least half an hour before you go to bed. But yeah, that's where you get your temperature from, the lofting and the insulation. So really useful. So there's your setup really for winter camping. This setup will be more than adequate for pretty much all New Zealand conditions, down to -10, maybe even -15. So yeah, that's it. That's the setup done. So you got your thermal mat, foam thermal mat, inflatable thermal mat, and then your sleeping bag. So make sure you acquire decent sleeping gear, because it definitely matters. And when you have a cold night, you're going to regret it. Also, I do have this saw as well. I don't know if you've seen it, but in the sheath. And this is really good for your firewood. Yeah, this only costs 35 bucks from Mitre 10, so really good. It's 330 millimeters. But yeah, that's another good thing. So if you have any problems, at least you can cut some wood up and try and make a fire. This setup's done me really well, and I've even used this down in Antarctica in the summer months with an extra sleeping bag. That's all I used, and it was absolutely fine. You can see the video here if you want to check that out. But yeah, this is a good setup. It's perfectly adequate for the winter, and the 4-season tent is definitely a must-have as well. If you got a 3-season tent, doesn't matter, still works. I've done it in a 3-season tent, but you will be a little bit more chilly because, you know, there's more airflow. These tents have much more closed-off walls, not just mesh everywhere. As you can see in the frame there, it's just all nice and closed in. But the ventilation in here is really good as well. So it's got these 2 little bits in the top, which are quite nice. And my friend Rita, she stayed with me in here, and she said it was way warmer than her car. And you can also adjust the tent as well on the clips on the bottom to have it up or down. So the higher up the tent flies, the more ventilation's coming in. If you want to have it hunkered down, then you can tighten them right up, and it will allow less heat to escape from the tent. Also, I don't use a liner for the sleeping bag. I've never had any experience where they keep me any warmer. It's just the same temperature. It doesn't make any difference. The only thing is you might not have to wash your whole sleeping bag. You might just have to wash your silk liner. But at the end of the day, if you're outdoor camping, you're going to have to wash everything at some point, because it's all going to get dirty, and especially if you're sleeping, you know, a bit more rough. But yeah, so I wouldn't get a silk liner. I wouldn't get a bivvy, and yeah, just a foam mat, and then an air mattress, and then a nice sleeping bag that can at least go to -5. But -5 minimum really is what you want for New Zealand. I recommend -10 if you can afford it, definitely. If it does rain, adjust your tent, because it's going to start moving and it's going to absorb water, and the strings will absorb water and move. So just when it's raining, if it stops for a bit, go out, tighten all the corners up, readjust the pegs if you need to. And yeah, that really is it. I think That covers the basics. I would always have some paracord as well. It's real useful, and don't do that. Always have the ends burnt off. But yeah, that's the setup, and if you need any more tips and tricks for like what you need to take when you're going on multi-day hikes and stuff like that, I can definitely do a video on that, so just let me know if that's something you might be interested in. This is more for beginners and stuff. Obviously people who do this all the time, it's absolutely fine, you're going to know all this anyway. But yeah, this is a couple of simple knots and a bit of camping stuff, and yeah, I actually really do prefer camping more than hiking. Hiking is just, it's interesting, but I feel like you really need to stay overnight at a place to really enjoy it. So I hope that helps, and thank you for watching, and if you just subscribed, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much.